What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get right into it. I woke up this morning and saw I thought it was a meme. It was just a graphic of of Timu and like a receipt of some sort. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? And I'm gonna show that to you right now. This was what I saw. And it what it did is that what I the video I showed you guys about how much your life is going to cost more just from your day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? The coffee and just regular stuff you get every day, your essentials every day. Coffee, breakfast, lunch, dinner, buying groceries, things of that nature. And I told you would still have around a six if you made $66,000 a year, you would end up having around a $697 deficit, in which, basically for the entire year, you would lose around $10,000 just from buying the basics, day-to-day stuff when these tariffs go into place. And if he keeps into place like he said he was going to do, right? And so, hey, Kat, how you doing? Or Kate, I'm sorry. Um, so this right here proves it. Timu, again, a company, I don't know if it's in China. I think it's in China. Uh, but as you can see in this charge, that you literally would buy something that costs, once you get like a discount and all that, it would be like $30.91, something like that nature. Sales tax, none. Shipping would be free. But then your import taxes would be $44.89. You literally bought something that you got. Oh, you got a discount for $37. You bought something for $68.75. It looks like, and they gave you discounts because everything is like cheap on Temu, or at least most everything. And with them giving you that discount, you still would have to pay $75.80 for the product. Looking at that import tax being $44.89. Like I said, there are many of us who buy stuff outside of our day-to-day norm. I would say most of us. So on your basic like life stuff that you would do without having any kind of extraordinary things, not entertainment, not anything else, just day-to-day life, you would lose about $10,000, 10,600 and something, almost 10,700 a year with these tariffs in place. And that's the 10% on some of the things, 25% on many of the other things, and then China 145%. So at 145%, this is what it would look like if you're buying stuff through Temu or through China when it was really cheap to begin with. And also, I don't know how you say it, Shein, Shein. I don't know if they're going to put the import tax on it, but it's going to be the same thing. You're going to be paying a lot more money for said product. And here's the thing. America doesn't produce a lot of these products that they bring over here. They don't have them. So it's not like you're going to be able to get that same product here in the United States like somebody makes it here. It literally means, like I said before, pick up anything in your home. I don't care what it is. It could be a medicine bottle. Pick it up, and I guarantee you it's going to say made in China on almost everything. I would say a good 90% of what's in your house is made in China. So they did this, A5 on fire, and they ended up saying this right here. Donald Trump woke up this morning and not on Temu, but Amazon went ballistic on Amazon because Amazon, based on an article, was toying with doing the exact same thing. Now, I just want to say something about that, just, personally. Donald Trump, well, let's listen to what Donald Trump said through his White House press secretary. I think it's Caroline Levin. Let's listen to what he said first, and then I'll weigh in then. Get this stuff down. He said it through Caroline Levitt. It wasn't him actually personally saying it.
Secretary, so it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
Exactly.
I will take this since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years?
First off, inflation came from us having a pandemic that Sir Dipshit that you work for did nothing to stop. He tried his best to hinder it. All the doctors that was working on it, he was giving them hell in the media. They had to stop down and have pressers and stop making the damn working on the project itself, stop leading it, because Sir Dipshit was out here talking about, oh, you can put light in your skin in like a minute. You can take hand sanitizer and it's gone in like a minute. We're going to think if we can put some hand sanitizer inside your body and some light inside your body and get rid of it. I mean, you know, somebody who says that is remedial at best, right? And no human being with the brain the size of a human brain, maybe the size of a peanut, would actually say that out loud and think that he said something provocative, like, oh my God, like something just so profound, not provocative, but profound. It's profound. I can't believe that I'm this smart. You're a dumbass. And this right here proves it even more. This man just said that it was a hostile situation because Amazon is going to tell the American people where their money's coming. Let's listen, finish it off real quick. It's insane, y'all.
And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
What? First off, what did I say at the very beginning of this? We don't manufacture most of the shit that China sells us. Those manufacturing companies have gone. Okay? Bye-bye. And even if we have brands here, they're not made here. They make them in Vietnam, Brazil, China, other countries. We don't mass produce them here. So, again, the concept of these people to speak in like, what they do is they speak in like dumb terms. They want you to be the dumbest person on the planet. Can't add 1 + 1. And just give you these terms that somehow make you feel like all warm and fuzzy inside. Oh, would you buy American? Yeah, okay, great. All right, we're not going to buy from China. Okay, where are you getting it from? You're going to wait until they build the manufacturing companies here before you buy another outfit, before you buy anything else? You're just going to wait? Is that what you're doing? You're telling me you're going to wait a couple years or so before they can actually even break ground? And then a few more years after that, when they actually can be able to do it, and then when they open it back up, you're going to end up buying clothes that's going to cost more than the 145 tariffs because you're going to have to pay union wages for people to be working in these damn factories. Each person making about $100,000 a year working on building you a shirt or a hat or a bike. And therefore, each bike, even if it's trash, is going to cost you 10 times more than when you could buy it from China. I mean, please, boy, I'm telling you, these people, I mean, It's scary how slow. It's almost as if the special ed classes are running the country. I ain't got nothing against special ed, but I'm going to put it this way. I wasn't in special ed, and I don't deserve to run the damn country. I don't. I think there are smarter people than me. I think there are people who know what they're doing strategy-wise, people who have studied government their entire lives and know how government works, and they have thought about strategies and everything to make things work well for people. I think there are many people out there like that deserve to be in that. One thing this country does, and it does, I think, wrong, is they make everybody think everybody can do everybody's job. I can't take an artist person who draws pictures. I can't take their job because I don't know how to do this shit. But you have this guy, oh, I can do it. You gonna pay me for it? Okay, good. And then it comes out trash. I did it. That's this country. You think you can do everybody's job? No, there are people, just like back in the old days, there were people who were carpenters, people who, put horseshoes on people. Not everybody could do it. Not everybody had the passion to do it. But the ones who did, they did a great job at it and made a living off of it. The farmers did their thing. Not everybody could farm. That's why some people owned the stores to sell the feed and did not go into the field because they sucked at it. But here in this country, for some reason, everybody think they can do everybody's job just as good as that other person who's been doing it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And it starts with the billionaires. They started to devalue what people can do and start paying them less, and therefore say, you know what? I don't want to deal with quality. I'll deal with quantity. Human beings will accept anything. So you take a $5 shoe they make in Vietnam or Korea, bring it here, it's a Jordan, you sell it for $100, $200, $300, and people buy it because they've been brainwashed to think, I'm like Mike if I put them on. While you can get that same shoe or same make with that little swoop upside down in China or Korea, wherever it's being made, for $35. Same build, same everything. Can do the exact same shit the other shoe can do. But you're caught up in brands and thinking they mean something when they don't. They mean you keeping people wealthy that don't give a damn about you. That's what it means. That's why up in here, we always trying to figure out ways that we take away their wealth and stop getting all excited about these brands. If you like some design, that's fine. But buying it for $4,000, $50,000, $80,000 for Birkin bags, when the thing that made me laugh so much is when Donald Trump messed with China, and there's this one dude on there said, there's Birkin bags, and he's like showing it to you, $1,500. It looked just like that new Birkin bag that you're hawking at some. In LA, we have I want to say it's a Native American casino, but it may not be. Maybe it's a new casino. And they're giving away these 3 Birkin bags that looked exactly like the bag the dude said in China for $1,500 a pop. But they're $80,000 here. I don't give a damn who Birkin is. Birkin Smirkin. Who the hell is Birkin? They made that shit up, so I'm pretty sure. And here you are buying it for $80,000. Oh, it's an investment, I saw somebody say. Yeah, investment in my ass. Ain't nobody else. As soon as people don't want to buy it no more, it ain't worth shit. And trust me, that day is going to come a lot quicker than you think with what we're trying to do. But in this situation, Carolyn Levitt wanted to tell people that basically that you're in this situation, that Jeff Bezos is some kind of criminal, so to speak, to this country. He's hanging out with people that are a part of some propaganda wing of China, like Trump cares about that. He's hanging out with these dictators all over the place and saying, writing love letters to them. They love me. And Bezos is supposed to be scared, and he is. These billionaires with no backbone. What's the use of having money if it ain't even bringing you no kind of power? I mean, these are some rich weaklings. Can't stand on their own 2 feet. I mean, think about what he actually did. Think about what he actually did. All he did was say to the American people, I'm going to be transparent with you. I ain't no big Jeff Bezos fan, but I appreciate that you're going to tell me. Think about this for a hot second. Timu did the right thing. How would you tell? You are a business person. Let's put yourself in a business position. Some of y'all may be business owners. I'll put you in a business position. I'm selling, microphones. I do this again. I'm selling the microphones, right? I'm getting it from China. These are $99. Everybody knows you can get these right here for $99 for some place, and sometimes cheaper. $69, $59 sometimes. They'll sell them really quick for like a few days for like $39.99. You can get, they'll sell 5 of them that way, and then all of a sudden it goes back to $99. Whatever deal they're working with. But you can get these for under $100. Never really over, right? And let's say that's Temu, but it's not. It's TikTok Shop. But let's just say it's Temu, right? So with that being $99 and I'm selling them to you, okay, for that price. And let's say I'm making them for $25. All right. So I'm selling to you for $99. Then all of a sudden, you want to go buy a new pair. Like your old pair went down. You're like, I'm going to get another pair for a backup, whatever. You go to buy it. And it's not $99 now. It's $300. Now, as a business person, I'm selling you something that you know ain't worth no more than $99. Now for $300. Who's going to take that hit? I am, as the business owner, right? You're the business owner. You're going to take that hit. Why? Because ain't nobody buying these bitches no more. They're going somewhere else and buying something else that may be a little cheaper, and they have to buy it. Like, it may break every 6 months, but they're not going to buy this, even though it is quality, for $300 when they were $99, and I could get them on certain sales for $30 sometimes. And now $99, nobody's buying that. The average folks are not buying this shit. So your sales are going to just dwindle. Now, you can charge that $300, but you, as the owner, the person buying from you, it's like, man, you price gouging the hell out of me. So now your credibility as this person robs people. Don't shop at Temu. Don't shop there. That's what's going to be the actual mantra that's going to be built. So my company's going to take a hit. Your company's going to take a hit because Donald Trump has tariffs on them. And Donald Trump don't want you to tell the people the tariffs they have to pay for. So he wants you to take the tariffs off and just charge people that much money more. So that it doesn't look like my tariffs are costing them more money. So what he was really pissed off about was Jeff Bezos with Amazon was going to tell the people the truth. That tariffs are a tax. And then Jeff Bezos capitulated and said he wasn't going to do it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but bro, when everything goes up 145%, do you really think we're buying it? Because if you don't charge that fee, where that fee coming from? You just gonna jack up the price of a book that that you got from you made in China and had it produced in China, mass produced in China. The book is $9.99. Now it's $19.99. You or even $29.99. You're gonna sit there and jack up the price and not tell people why? I mean, on every receipt you get, I don't care if it's your bills, it'll tell you incurred taxes and your phone bill. Your cell phone bill has all these taxes, and you'll see something on it, but where did that tax come from? and I don't know if you like me or not. I'm calling like, whatever, phone company. Where did this tax come from? I mean, I haven't seen this tax ever. Now all of a sudden it's an extra $5.95 per month. Did you make up a tax? I mean, you haven't used that tax for years. I've never seen it. Now all of a sudden you need it? I'm finding out. You're telling me I'm going to get a bill for something that's going to skyrocket $44 more than what it fucking is before, and it's not going to tell me why? No. And Jeff Bezos capitulating to that is just stupid, because you're messing up your business. People should know, and we know, us people with a brain know that tariffs are a tax. We should stop calling them tariffs. We're going to say, so you're raising taxes is what you're saying. I thought you was a no tax person, but you're going to raise taxes and tell me that it's not taxes. But I'm paying for it. That one order I showed you, $44 for something that cost you $30 to buy. With the discounts they give you, which they always do that with Temu and all these other companies, even TikTok Shop. It'll break it down like, oh, it's $99, whatever. You're gonna say you're getting it for $69, so that's minus $30. So you got it for $69, and then no tax or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're gonna see, oh, this tariff tax charges. It was $69. Now it's $185, whatever the hell. You be like, the fuck? I ain't buying that. Return. I ain't buying that. No. I'll wait till the taxes go down. So anything extra, like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that game. I don't need that. I'll do without the mic. I'll do without all these things. Sales are going to go down. Big time. That's going to hurt China, of course. It's going to hurt America, too, because ain't nobody buying it from here when they don't have it here. Because the reality is they get it from China, too. So when you go to Best Buy to get said same thing, it's going to be marked up. And if they don't put that charge on there and tell you where it's coming from, don't buy from them. Because they just told you right then and there. They aren't transparent. If the prices of everything goes the hell up and they don't show you the charge in which it went up by, yeah, you need to stop shopping at that particular store and any of those stores that don't do it. Transparency is everything. I'm being really harsh on a lot of these businesses, and there's a reason. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of people ripping us off. It's just not something that I am going to do. I don't shop at Target anymore because of it. And as I find more stores, I'll stop shopping at them too. But I take a stand on what I believe in. And if I can find it anywhere else, I will. And that's the thing. These tariffs, even when they come down, and this is going to be the reality of it, I still ain't buying stuff here. Why? Because America's not doing right by us. And America is going to get it from China, from Japan, from these other countries, because they're not bringing back these factories. They're lying to you cold in your face. So, oh, we're breaking ground on stuff. What companies broke ground on anything yet? 100 days, nobody's broke ground on jack. No deals have been made. Just a flapping lip. And every time they flap their lips, the other country is silent as hell. If it had been a deal, you would know each one of these countries would be flapping their lips. It would be great. Not only that, every time we've signed a deal or made a deal, there is a big hoopla about it. A leader from said country with the deal. The American leader in the center taking all the credit. The other country that's in the deal, all up on stage, giving you a good 5-minute spiel about what they've done. And then the middle person in America takes up a good 30 minutes talking about how good and great America is. And then they make this deal and they move forward. And who makes the most money out of it? Billionaires. Because they'll buy it from them at a cheap rate. And then all of a sudden, charge us ridiculous amounts of money. So, myself, I don't know about anybody else. I'm done with playing that game of charades where we're not included. We're just a byproduct. They're not fighting for us. They're fighting for their own wealth. Like, how can I make more money? How can I make more money? While saying fuck you to everybody else who's trying to make a better life for themselves so they can live beyond just paycheck to paycheck. They're always talking about saving money. Saving money for whom? You ever notice? There's a reason why like 60% of Americans, and it used to be in 2019, 80%. I don't know how it changed so different, but they say 60% now. 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. You would think that would be getting a lot better every freaking year. A lot better. If you're trying to bring back wealth to this country. But it won't. We will still be in that 60 to 80% 20 years from now. Because everything they give back is due to them. They get the most money. They don't reinvest it in the communities. They don't create enough jobs. It's just sad. We keep living in this loop over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. Never coming out of it and blaming everybody else but the people who cause it. We'll blame, Latin people for something, stealing jobs and shit, even though you ain't gonna work out no field nowhere making $100 a day or less than $100 a day, $100 a week. You're not gonna do that. No American that's born here is ever going to do that unless everything fell the frick apart and everybody was like looking for scraps in the streets like 1920 and 21 during the crash. That's the only time any of us will go back to that. But if we ain't forced to, ain't nobody going back to that. Our ancestors fought so that we wouldn't have to be there. The people who are coming here now are there because their ancestors weren't here. Their ancestors are them here. They're working generations from now. Their kids look back at their ancestors when they came here as immigrants and how great their life is now compared to when they were out in the fields picking stuff. That's this country. It's cyclical. So we've been told to divide us on some of the most nonsense, whether it be race, sex, gender, trans, straight. We just get divided over everything. And when you break it down, all we want, all of us, is a nice life from beginning to end. You know where that year, for me, 1970, that dash in between and then the end. That dash part, that's all we want, is have a good time in that dash part and leave something behind after that last part, that last year, so that our younger generation, whether it be people in our family or people we just love and care about, have a better life. That's the whole game right there. But we got too many people out in this world that don't give a shit about nobody but them, their bank accounts, and not even their own children. It's just, they think they're going to live forever. It is just them and them. And they think about nobody. They take joy in destroying people's lives. Going through the government and getting rid of, hundreds of thousands of jobs. Those are people who had families to feed. Those people have mothers and daughters and sons, some ill. And now they don't have insurance to take care of mom and dad or their daughter or son who may be sick. Or to have them go to school that they was going to. Now they got to change their whole life, uproot their entire lives because you want to save some money so that you can get billions of dollars put back into your pocket, even though you don't even pay that much in taxes. You want subsidies. You want the government to have a plethora of money, not to pay down the deficit, not to pay down our debt, national debt. No, to give you money back so that you don't even put it back into the government to pay off the debt. So whenever you look at a Republican talking about they want to, have a fiscally conservative government, they're lying to you. They've never been fiscally conservative. I don't even know what their definition of it is, because just like they hijacked, woke, they've hijacked fiscally conservative, because it does not mean what it actually means. I've been trying to figure it out, because to me, it sounds like it means is greed. Give me money, give me money, give me money. Because you would think if you had a surplus, you just pay your bills. Or keep it there for a rainy day or something that goes on, but you pay your bills. No, give it back to me. I can do better with it than you. How? Are you going to give up hundreds of millions of dollars if we go to war? No. So how is it doing better for you in your pocket, rich people, when it turns out we need it during war? And guess what? When we have these wars, we're borrowing from China and Japan to fight. Always in debt with everybody. And the only way we can do this, only reason we can do this is because the dollar is the main source of finances in this country. Everybody uses the dollar. Well, I think there's a few countries that have gotten rid of us now, but from end of like World War II in that era, the dollar has been the main thing, where it was gold and then the dollar. That's the reason why we get away with this stuff. If any of these countries get the balls to say, fuck the dollar, we're fucked. And many of them are already working on it. Hey, Jennifer. I did see they said it was, I got the Indian guy's name. I think he's Indian. Sri something. Started an impeachment on Donald Trump. We'll see where that goes. He was by himself. Nobody was there to support him in the process. So I don't know where that's going. I hope it goes somewhere, but I don't know. But at least, you know, he had the cojones to actually do it. I know somebody else has said they were going to do it, but I didn't see if they had done it. But he came out and did it. So let me go back here real quick. I think I saw, was it 5 on 5? He said I split between 2 live streams that I'm mounting. Okay, I see. All right, I'll check the email, 5 on Fire, when I'm done. But that's what she said. Now, I'm going to think about this, how I'm going to do this, but I don't know, because it's hard as hell to get in touch with Amazon. But I think we need to send Amazon a message. We don't have a direct line like Donald Trump does, but we need to let Amazon know. The people should let them know. We're not fucking around, Amazon. If you don't put the charge of these tariffs in your form and charge us those tariffs anyway, oh, that's going to be crazy right there, because I see lawsuits coming. If you ain't gonna let us know where this extra 145% charge is coming from, and you don't put it in there as an actual charge, and please, I dare you just put it in there as taxes alone, just taxes or whatever the heck it is. You better let people know what it is, because otherwise, to me, and I'm not a lawyer, it seems to me that'd be false advertising if you're gonna tell me, or fraud or something. I don't know what the term is, but it can't be legal that you're going to throw a charge on and not let people know what it is. Just like when I said with the phone company, whenever I see an additional charge, because I know exactly how much my bills are every month. I'm anal like that. If that trick is over $1, 45 cents, I'm like, that ain't the price of it. What's going on? I go look, and if there's an additional charge somewhere, I'm on the phone. I'm like, where'd this come from? Because if you don't catch it, and the reason I learned this, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't catch it, you will find yourself, giving your whatever company $150, $300, $400, $500, whatever it may be, for months if you don't check it out. Because I had it once, and this is before Sprint was bought out, but by T-Mobile. I had Sprint, and with Sprint, they said I had all these points, right? So I got these points, and it's like, oh, you can get, some beats and all this other stuff for it for free, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, for free? So yeah, you got all these points. You've been with us for so many years, 13, 15 years, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. So I get these things, and they just marked off the points. Everything was cool. And then, my phone bill, it was the price that they said it was going to be. I'm like, all right, you know, cool. So I did that. My phone bill was $25 more than it what it's supposed to be. But in the store, they calculated the $25 into my monthly payment and said, this is how much it's going to be. And you got this for free. But they hid the $25 somewhere else on my bill. Nowhere to be found. You'd have to search to find this, and it's in some kind of wording. It's not like actual like added onto your bill. It literally just has your bill at the rate with the $25 already added into it. And you signed on to it because you're like, oh, that's not that bad. I bought these beats that I had. I thought I got them for free. These people will rob you if you don't look. And the only reason, and before I ended up paying for them, I went back because I found out from a person who worked at T-Mobile. He said, "No, you didn't get them for free, bro. They put it in another area within your bill that doesn't show up. You just have to go and look." And he told me where to go. I went and looked at it. In the documentation, it said, yeah, $25 if you take this deal or whatever, the beats and something, whatever deal it was, you get charged $25 a month until the beats are paid off. So you're paying, and it's also like a loan. So you're paying interest on these things on top of that. It was shady, yo. So I'm like, that can't be legal, can it? You know what I'm saying, at the time. And I didn't want to get all into the fighting of it, everything like that. I was in the middle of a divorce. I was like, I'm just done with fighting. So, but I took them back and said, you know what? Here, take your beats. Take me off of this. And they ended up taking me off. But other than that, like I said, Amazon, don't do that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be telling everybody and their mama to sue your ass. Because ain't no way in hell you're going to be sitting there charging people to appease Donald Trump. You're going to charge people and not tell them what it is? Because he said that it's hostile because you're telling the American people the absolute truth of what his tariffs are, their actual taxes. I love how the dude asked that question too. He said, doesn't this prove, he said it to Scott Bessent, doesn't this prove that tariffs are a tax on the American people? And he was like, that's when the Caroline Leavitt jumps in. Trump's attack dog comes in and starts talking all this nonsense about he's talking to a Chinese something. It's crazy. So one of the things I realized, how today was Trump's 100th day, his second 100th day as a president, his first one in 2016 or 17. But today was 100, and so doing with that, they usually come out with it's like a report card for anybody who like a president who does his first 100 days. They come out a report card. Today's report card, we're going to see Donald Trump, and we're going to be transparent with this because I realize what it says. Donald Trump, it didn't show up. There you go. Donald Trump received, there you go, an F. An F. It says Trump gets an F on his first 100 days from the plurality of Americans poll finds. Now, you'll see here, report card, Trump's first 100 days. He got an A from 23%. Now, you can look up at the top here how they did this poll. 45% of U.S. state adults rated Trump's return to the Oval Office as an F, including 80% of Democrats and 49% of independents. At the other extreme, 23% of Americans, including 54% Republicans, gave the president an A. So overall, between Republicans, Democrats, and independents, he got an A with mostly Republicans. no, it wasn't too many. I mean, 54% of them were a part of that particular poll. And you would think you would see 54%, but you don't. You see 23. Now, B for 17%, C and D around at 7-8%. 45% says this man gets an F. It doesn't take a genius to know that he got an F. I mean, there's literally nothing he's done. Everything he's tried to do has failed pretty much, except for deporting innocent people and supposed criminals that didn't get their just due. They just looked at them and said they were criminal. I mean, you remember back in the day, I don't know how many years ago, I think it had to be like 20 years ago when it first started or somewhere around there, when they had, they used to say that you can search anybody's car, and it was usually finding Latin people and black people and so forth. But literally saying that, we can search anything and just go into their car, see if they're a citizen and deport them and everything like that. Forgot what that was called. But they used to do that. And Texas was really bad at it. Stop and search or something like that. And they did that. This is like that times 1,000 times worse. To stop and just assume somebody's a criminal. Convict them as a criminal. Send them to prison in another country that the majority of them don't belong to. The one that we're talking about all the time, Abrego Garcia, he's from there. But everybody else, 99% of them are not. And they're in a prison in a foreign country they've never stepped foot in. None of them, 75% of them don't have a record. Then you got 22 or something like that, or somewhere around there, that not even 20, that 22 people, not 22%, 22 people have committed crimes. Out of all of them they sent, the only ones 22 of them have committed crimes. I'm sure they're probably taking some more sense. I'm not 100% sure, but 22 of them have committed crimes, and only like 2 of them, a little bit less than, I think it's 2 of them, that have committed hard crimes. Other ones are shoplifting and things of that nature. But it's insane that we have gone this far in this country trying to move forward. And the thing that gets me is like, how do we let this, that we quote unquote say are the minority, the less than 30% of these American people, to take over the country? One thing I've been realizing is that a lot of us and a lot of my mutuals, we have been preaching to the choir, because I know y'all all understand what the heck I'm talking about. Some of you are more learned than me. We know what to do. We know what kind of country we want. The problem is that anybody who wants to go in a position to run the country doesn't have the same feelings that we have. They have dreams of grandeur, to own America, not to just be a leader of the people. Donald Trump wants to own it. Now, our people, Democrats that I've seen, don't have that type of oddity where you want to own something. They want to be of service. And we've been trying to preach to those whose hearts are hardened. There is no love in their hearts. It's just pure hate. The only thing they love is everything that looks like them, sounds like them, hates like them. That's the only thing they care about. So how do we get them to care about everybody else? And the answer is we don't. You have to notice we're always fighting amongst each other, not Democrat against Democrat. I'm just saying, like, Americans against Americans based off of either race, gender, some ideology you may have. And it's like, in every last one of us, at some point in time, except for just white men, and white men who can clarify themselves as white men for a long time, but really aren't under that moniker of white, which is a social construct to begin with. There's no such thing. But the white Anglo-Saxon or European, when they came up with these ideas of what's white, it was all about power. How to get a bunch of people who look alike to go against those who look differently. And at one time, the Irish and the Italians were treated horribly in this country. But when the numbers of white people, Europeans, start to go down, then all of a sudden, what do? You end up putting them in the category of white. Come on into the white group. Come on into the white group. Come on. Come on. We got to outnumber these darkies. And so any race that has lighter skin, close to whiteness, they started inviting in. One of the last ones they did was the Latin culture. The light-skinned Latin people could become white. And they happily joined in, not all of them, but joined in to this clan of whiteness just so they could have power over even their own race, the darkies. Anybody dark in their own race. Same thing happened with the Asian culture. Get close to the white man as much as you can. And the dark people in your culture, trash. It's crazy how just because people are melanated, they want to separate themselves from them. And it all comes from these Europeans who gave people an idea that whiteness was rightness. But it's fake. If you are Italian, if you are Jewish and you claim in white, if you are Irish, they don't like you either. If their numbers could rise without you, they'd throw your ass out. That's history. That's not me. That's history. Go back and look at what year Irish people became white, at what year Italian people became white, and pay attention how when it was indentured servitude, how they treated the Italians, how they treated the Irish, like absolute shit. Chinese, how they treat the Chinese and Asian people back then before they allowed them to also claim their whiteness. Now, they don't usually claim them at often. If they're mixed, they'll claim white. As far as Asian goes, they'll claim Asian 100%. The most that I know of. But if they're mixed, oh, I'm white in a heartbeat. Because that gets you into that club of being treated better. Anybody white in here lies to me and tells me that, hey, I didn't get treated better because I was white. Bullshit. I tell you, if you don't believe it, I ask, and I know that you get in trouble with something with us, but if you don't believe it, do an experiment. Paint your ass black for a day and see how different your life is. See how different. Go to a job interview with brown skin and see how different your life changes. In one day, I promise you, every white person I know, you couldn't live a month as a black person without wanting to take your life. I promise you that. I promise you that. You wouldn't live a month without wanting to take your own life as a black man or a black woman. You wouldn't. You think it's all financial? No, there's a lot of stress in this. This beautiful brown skin brings a lot of stress into your life. A lot of pressure. And it also brings a lot of people denying you're going through it because they want to tell you just because you're black, you feel like a victim. Like, let me tell you something. How many times did you see white people playing the victim because they had to wear a mask? Oh my God, you took my rights away. They played victim. Some of them threw themselves on the floor in the grocery store. Some of them came to the grocery store and wiped out old shelves. I can shop here. If I can't shop here, nobody else can. All that just because they couldn't wear a mask. Now ask yourself how you feel if you walked into a store and everybody looked at you because you were brown skinned and followed your ass around and asked you, you sure you need it? You don't need anything? I'm like, no, I got it. Not at one store, every store. Depending on the community that you're living in. Depending on how you walking in. You may walk in looking like you got money. They'll leave you alone. But if you walk in just looking regular, what you doing here, sir? What you mean I'm doing here? Looking for shopping. What are you talking about? 1 month, I guarantee you, suicide will be on the menu. Promise you that. No matter how hard your life is and been as a person who's white, it ain't nowhere near been as hard as a person in your same status, making the same amount of money, living in the same community or near the same community as a black person. It ain't never been, never will be harder. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying you have all the financial issues, maybe even substance issues and everything. But you don't have the race issue. And that right there is a lot. Even though people try to discredit it because you want to equate yourself to us somehow, it's like, no. I don't try to equate myself with some racist white dude because I know what his life is like. Even if he is poor and got 3 teeth and living on a farm somewhere and ain't got nothing, I know my life is still, even though I've had a financially better life than him, I haven't been harassed as much as, I've been harassed way more than he has. He's had some comfortability in his life. And the things that he went through is because he put himself through it. He cleaned his ass up and did some things for his own life. Tell him to pull himself up by his bootstraps because his whiteness can get him places. But he chose to sit on his ass and do nothing. I didn't choose that. I go into a job interview. What's your name? Andrew? You're Andrew? Same last name? Yep. Because my last name sound like I'm a white dude. So it's like, I went to so many interviews, y'all. Resume in tow, resume stellar. I was an engineer, all that, stellar. You couldn't fuck with my resume. That's why I got all these interviews. But when I walk in, you know how many times I had some white girl come out there and say, oh, Andrew Weaver? The last name's Weaver. Andrew Weaver? Mr. Weaver? I'm like, I'm right here. You're Mr. Andrew Weaver? I'm like, yeah. Hold on. And go back into the room, talk to the boss. I'm waiting a little bit longer. And on one of those occasions, the door was cracked. And I heard them saying some of the most racist shit. And then I walk in, the first question, why do you want to work here? Not like, what would make you, want to work here? Or what do you think you can offer us or something like that? No, not constructive. Like, get the fuck out. Like, why do you want to be here? Because I'm an engineer and I'm good at it. And my resume, you said you needed 5 years. I got 10. And I can do this, and this. Didn't care. Did not care. I can see if it was my resume that held me back. I can see if it was, my attitude that held me back. But what got me in the door was my name. What got me kicked out was my skin. That happening to you so often with black people, and this is the thing that kills me when people tell black people, you guys are always trying to play the victim. Do you know how many times that happens to us that we ignore that it was about race? Like, man, thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Wait a minute, there's a pattern. They keep saying the same thing. The fuck? Am I that bad? They say the same. They love my resume, but I either be bored with the job or, you're overqualified or whatever it may be. And I'm like, how am I overqualified for the job? Same things they would say to the point where you're like, that's weird. And then you find out, later, like once I don't know, not everybody finds out the way I did, but I found out because I went in for a position with a friend that was white. And when we came out, I said, "Did he ask you this?" None of the questions that was asked of me was asked of him. He came out with the guy was a good guy. I was like, this dude was a total ass to me from the moment I sat down. I got to see the difference between the two. My white friend had a great interview. I had a shitty one. I came in like suited and booted. He came and had on shorts and flip-flops. I'm in Cali, so that's acceptable. Or at least back then it was. I didn't know that. So it was strange, but it hits you a little different when you start to see your life changes because of it. And the only reason I'm saying these things is because I want people to understand, we can't change the way people perceive us, no matter what we look like. But we have to admit that these things exist. And as people who care about people, that's who I have in my rooms, we got to figure out a way that what you do and how well you do it should be the thing that matters. What you look like should not. And there are going to be people that you're never going to be able to change from that. So what we have to do is get people together who are good at what they do, that have businesses, that get into something, whatever it may be, straight facts, this, whatever the heck it may be, into a situation where race is not an issue, sex is not an issue, just the job at hand, just good people that matter. These assholes that don't want to hire you because of race and things of that nature, they should pay the cost for what they do. And that should be either, labeling that brand or that person or whatever it may be, racist or biased to some degree, not because of the fact, just that you don't get hired, just the way you get treated. I mean, I myself want transparency. So personally, I thought about this years ago, and I might do something about that, is being able to ask people, what was your interview like? Exit interviews, what was your interview like for this position? What was your interview like for this position? And you'll start to see just the differences. Some people are going to be like, oh, it was pretty much the same. Then you know that person's good. But then others are going to be like, oh, he was an ass to me. He asked me these questions. Because I guarantee you, if you put 10 white people, 10 white women, men, black men, women, and different other races together, and men and women, and you send them into an interview at a company, I guarantee you, each one of them be treated differently. And the one that would be treated the absolute best would be the white male. Then second, I would say, is probably white women. There was a time where just any male would be doing better than any woman. But it's changed. I would say the next would probably be white women or Asian men. That's just my guess, but I would love to have, I'm like a research nut, so I would love to have, some kind of app or something to determine that, just to find out for myself. I love finding out little data points that help me understand, because I get tired of people telling you, oh, there's such thing as racism. I'm like, you know what? I want to prove it, because I'm getting tired of y'all just making shit up out of nowhere. It's not happening. Yes, it is. I'm getting tired of people thinking that, women are crazy because they see the sexism. Like, no, it's there. Black people, Latin people, Asian people, they see it, but nobody wants to believe it. But trust me, if most of these companies that people are going to were owned by somebody other than white, you would hear white people going crazy. It's prejudice, it's racism. You would. Can't tell me you wouldn't, because you went crazy over a mask. What do you think you're going to do when people don't hire you because you're white? You'll flip the fuck out. And rightfully so. But the point is, people will believe you. Most people don't believe minorities when they tell them, hey, this was racism. You always say that. Well, it's always been there. It never left. The fuck y'all expect? So those are the things, like for me, like I said, I'm always trying to figure out solutions to these things, and I bring them up, and I'm working on a lot of it because I do believe, again, we can't change those who are hateful for life. And whenever their time comes, usually when they hit rock bottom, that's when they see the light. But for the majority of us who see the light, why are we letting the minority of us run our country? Why are they even given the opportunity to do so? Why aren't we rising up and saying, the hell with this? And the reason why I think it is because we aren't unified around anything. Everybody wants their own way, and nobody knows what other people's way is. The things that we have in life or want in life aren't focused on race. They're focused on just humanity. I'm human. I'm divorced now, but somebody who loves you. You got kids if you have those. If you didn't want that, you got animals. You got best friends. You got all these different things. You want to have happiness, joy, laughter, enough money to take care of you and your family, enough money to be able to retire, and if you pass away, that nobody is burdened by your life, so that you can be buried, and nobody has to lose their house or home or put up something, sell their car to bury you. We want just the basic things in life to work for us. And trust me, it is possible. It's just that the way our government works, the way capitalism works in this country, is focused on the me and not the we. I focus on the we. I focus on how we can make money together, how we can partner up on doing things so that our lives get better together, and how we can forge a new way of government where, as again, one of my main things I've been working on, I haven't figured it all out yet. I'm just one man, but to be able to think of, if let's say Rude lives in a particular place, right, and her neighborhood may need a new bridge, right? It just needs a new bridge, and and then you got somebody else, let's say Nomadic Mariner, that he needs, in that area, they need a new, what do you call that? A dock for their boats and things like that. A new dock in their city or state, and maybe it's the government that's going to do it because you need to take the federal government need to take care of some of the things that maybe the states can't do. And in that area, that particular group of people say, yeah, we need a dock. That's a big important thing we need, for all the, fish and wildlife that we're catching for the economy in our area, And in her area, we need to get across this. Like, people have been messing up their cars on these bridges and not, messing up their cars, doing different things that kind of messed up. Accidents on it. It needs repair. You guys can actually ask for those things. And why would I care? I'm over here I don't need a bridge. I don't need a bridge. I should be saying, oh yeah, let's help, Rude with the bridge. Of course, we need a bridge over there. Do it. Everybody can get something. But what the problem happens is that rich people get us divided on stupid shit like race and sex and who can play girls' sports or not. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? You got probably 12 trans people playing sports in the entire 300 million of us, and we make that a sole issue? Where they can take a dump, a sole issue? When there's so much crap going on in our lives? We got people out here kidnapping kids and doing things. We ain't trying to focus on how we can put, technology so that our kids can be safe. We ain't thinking about that. Security for our children so they don't have to worry about it, that people won't go missing. Real issues. We want to get into people's lives and tell them that their, sexual parts can be controlled by a man. That's where we're going with life. I mean, it's so like barbaric. It's like, go back into like the freaking like medieval times. Why don't you? And they keep on wanting to go back. I'm like, shit, go back Go back to when we was wearing loincloths, if that's the case. I mean, it's ridiculous. We're supposed to be going forward. The past is the past. We learn from it and grow from it. We may revisit it, but we don't go back there to live. They're trying to live in the past. It's already happened. These regressive people, we're allowing them to take over. And it's about time we stop doing that. We should stop doing it. And it starts with people who want it to stop. Talking about it, conversating about it, discussing like what would work and what wouldn't work, including everybody in the process to some degree. And again, it can be community to community. It could be individual leaders that we say in our community that are representing us. Because again, I don't really get into the government system the way it's set up. Because again, having like a senator that you'll never see unless they hold a meeting, how does he know what I want? How does he know what the majority of people want? In my entire life, I have never received, I'm 54, I have never received any form that says, hey, tell us what you want as an American in the United States. What do you want? What do you think is the main issue? I have yet to receive one. Yet I've received a bunch of census where they ask me all these different damn questions. But why can't you send out a feeler of what America really gives a fuck about? If everybody gets the census, why can't everybody get the what do you care about in America document? And give every person a chance to tell you what they give a fuck about. And then when you measure it up, oh, 90% of Americans want this. Then let's give 90% of the fuck Americans what they asked for. Just like 90% of Americans want some kind of gun control. Hello? If it's that high, what are we waiting on? You mean tell me that billionaire company outweighs 90% of the American people? That ain't right. That is not right. So those are the things, that I always think about, like, how can we change things? How can we make it happen? Now, when you get into like Trump's report card and him receiving the F, and you hear, I don't know if you saw Scott Bessent today, basically give Donald Trump all this credit and stuff like that about he has a great mind. Quit lying, dude. Ain't nobody listening to that shit. Even when he says it, he looks like he's like about to crap himself because he knows he's lying his ass off. He's stuttering and shit. But when you look at that, I always look at like the track record, not even just of the president, just one president, of just the party. How many of you know, in like the grand narrative of the American economic, like its history, in American history, when it comes to job creation, the thing that supports us, the thing that helps us feed our families, clothe our families, keep a roof over our heads, give us transportation. They don't give it to us, but these jobs allow us to have the transportation, to travel, to experience life, that puts money in our pocket so that we have a better life. Those are jobs, right? And careers, but jobs. Which party do you believe has created more jobs? And I'm going to tell you right now that since the Cold War in 1989, there has been 51 million new jobs created since 1989. That's when I graduated college, high school. It's 18 years old. Since then, there has been 51 million jobs created. Who do you think created the most jobs so that people can live and have a good life. And you'll be, if you don't know it already, but if you don't know it, you're going to be shocked when you find out. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds. I'm going to read some of your comments just to answer that question for me. I gave you 51 million. How many of you think that the Democrats versus the Republicans have created under their administrations? Nobody say anything? Clinton? No, all administrations since 1989. So 1989, we saw, I would say, I think you got Reagan, you got, yeah, I think that's the end of Reagan. Then you got, is it Clinton, George W. Bush twice, Clinton twice, then Obama. So yeah, but Republican and Democrat. So there's really literally been, Reagan was one. He was at the end of, wasn't Reagan at the end of 89? Let me double check. Was it Bush? Bush Senior? Bush Senior. You're right. Yeah, that's right, because he beat Bush. Yeah, Bush Senior. Yeah, because that was the end of Reagan's year was 88, and then he started 89, I think. So you got Bush Senior, Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, and again you got Bush Jr. twice, and Obama twice, and then you got Trump, Biden, and Trump again. In those people, amongst those people, we've created 51 million jobs. Looks like some of y'all know what y'all talking about. I got who was the first one who said something? I think it was Patricia. She said 50 million Democrats, and Scott Free said 50 to 1. 100%. Democrats created 50 million jobs, or up to 50 million. I think the actual numbers is that they're near 50. I would say 49.5 or something like that, because or yeah, something like 48.5, because 1.5 million jobs was accounted for Republicans, but they just kind of like gave 50 to 1, but close enough. Ask yourself, why would that be? I thought Republicans were the ones who were fiscally conservative, the ones who knew how to budget or whatever they say that they give themselves the label. What I realize about Republicans is they talk a great game, but they never back it up. And the thing that trips you out is that none of their people hold them to their feet to the fire. Republicans know that none of their people hold responsibility for anything. And the more I repeat this in my head from it's a lady, her last name is Setmeyer. She said this, Tara, is it Tara Setmeyer? There you go. It's Tara Setmeyer, Republican. She said something, and it sticks in my head because when I go back and do my research and find out about Republicans and things they do and things they say and how they rarely back it up, they've only created 1.5 million jobs since 1989. You're looking at Bush Sr., Bush Jr., Bush Jr., Trump, right? And this is before the second Trump. So 23, it was to 2023. Trump wasn't in 2023. So you only got, again, there's 4, but they served 2 terms. 2 of them served 2 terms. So you got, like I said, Bush Sr., right? You got Bush Jr., Bush Jr., right? You got Trump. There's 4 presidents. You've got Clinton, and you got Biden, and you got Obama. 4-3. 4-3. Oh, no, wait a minute. Obama had twice. Clinton has twice. So 5-3. So it's right. Because you had Clinton was 2. He had 2 of them. Obama had 2. And Biden had 1. So 4-5. 4-5. And you've got 51 million to 1. Not even close. Or 50 million to 1. Not even close. Why is that? You'll never get a Republican answering that damn question. Because again, it ain't about truth. It's about winning and losing. They're losing by far. So why is it that other Americans, let's get Republicans out of it. You just talk to independents, Democrats, and those who choose not to vote. I want to talk to y'all. Why would you vote or allow the minority of this world, in the United States rather, to outvote you and decide for you what your life should be? If the people who can vote in this country legally, and I'm speaking of all races, colors, and creeds that can vote legally, if you're not voting and you're talking about your life isn't what it should be, you really can't complain if you're not in the system trying to get those people who want to hold you back out. Trump would not, put it this way, I guarantee you, if the rest of this country who votes, who hasn't voted, but can vote legally, decided to sign up and vote, Republicans would never win the fuck again. Why? Because when people realize that the parties never help create jobs, they're the ones that talk about trickle-down effect will create jobs. They've done the trickle-down effect, and they've created 1.5 million jobs since 1989. Since 1989. Hello? That's a track record of being a loser. And you guys keep on trying to put losers back into office and thinking they're going to win. I understand the attitude of you may have the weakest child on the team and you keep on, don't get him off the bench, coach. Let him play at least once. Like, your kid can't dribble. What are you going to do? Stand from one end of the court and just shoot it? Be happy to be on the team. I mean, why would you put him in? Oh, just for sympathy? As soon as, again, travel. I mean, give him the ball again. Travel. I mean, do we really want to keep doing that? Or do you want to take your kid home and teach him how to play a little bit so he can get into a game and earn it? Feel better about him or herself. Republicans want to put their people in who don't know how to play the game, just because they want to see one of their people as a winner. And it's like, how about you do something to win? And that's the problem. This country is allowing losers to lead us and wondering why we're losing. I mean, would you literally put a high school team against the Bulls of the 80s and 90s? Would you really do that? No, you wouldn't. So why would you bring in these Republicans that have a record of losing and put them in leadership, and hopefully they're going to do something about it? I don't understand how a party that is supported by people who think that just because they're white men, they're superior, yet you got other white men who don't think that way. A black man in Obama, another white man in Biden and Clinton that don't necessarily think this way. At least that's their record. And they're beating you 50-1. What basketball would you want your kid to be on, the 50 or the 1 team? The team where they can only score 100 and since 1889. We're talking about what, 40 years almost, whatever it's been, over 40 years. Since 1989, let's say 40 years. Let's just give it 40. I think it's a little bit more than that. In my head, 90. Yeah, something like that. In the 80s, you'd be 40-some years old right now. At all that time, and you've only scored 1.5 points. but the Democrats don't put 50 on the board. And you still want that to lead. It makes no sense. Again, to hell with the Republicans and the MAGA people. We need independents, Democrats, and those who have never voted, haven't signed a vote. You need to get your butt out there and vote so you can make this a better country, instead of allowing the losers to always get into the game. For what? Because you're mad at the government? Look what it did to you. You're mad at the government chose not to vote, and now you got Sir Dipshit running it. And those of you who are always like, oh, I'm out of the situation, I can't get this, I have 401k, you're broke now. Before Biden, you was talking about you was broke. Now with Trump, some of y'all probably on the street now. Because if you was broke under Biden, you damn sure broke now. We need to get those who are not in the system to wake the fuck up and get in it. Because if you don't, you're going to lead us down this path of destruction for centuries to come. This man is dismantling our Constitution. He should be in jail right now for the shit he's done. No other president has ever gotten this close to what he's doing. And I mean, these people are supposed to be loyal to the Constitution, not to one man. And if you don't see it, you're blind on purpose. We're going to need you to vote, Nomadic Mariner, man. This shit that's going on is crazy. I mean, whomever you're going to vote for, but make sure the people are actually focused on you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever issues you have. That's why I always say, look, if you feel like disenfranchised, find out what it is that would make you have a better life. Fight for that issue. One thing I realized is, as a voter and being in this situation and, you know, going down certain paths because, you know, that's the way my family was doing it, then waking up and realizing, you know, there are issues that benefit me more on the Democrat side than the Republican side, that I am a fiscally conservative person. Republicans aren't. That title was given to them. They took it, and Democrats just let them have it, which is weird because, again, it doesn't belong to a party. It's a mindset. They use it because they're like, oh, we want to have the money for something before we spend it. That's fiscally conservative. But then you go and look at their books. They spend and don't keep shit. That's not fiscally conservative. They're in here talking about they want to give a huge tax cut they don't have the money for. So they're going around and firing everybody to gather the money so that they can give it back to themselves. To hell with these people feeding their families. To hell with these people who have moms and dads and that need to be taken care of because they're in their twilight years. To hell with the fact that they may have a kid with cancer or a family member that has a disease. To hell with that. I want their job so that I can take that money and I can hoard it and buy me another yacht. That's not fiscally conservative. That's evil. I thought we were Americans. I thought we loved the fact of being an American. These people who are doing this to us, they don't give a fuck about being an American. They care more about money than they care about people. Here's another reason why you know that's true. Because things that you buy, businesses that you start, they allow them to be human. You get a company, it's a human being that you can give it the taxes to take care of. And if it loses, that human being, said company, loses, and you get to keep your taxes, even though you're the one who started the business. You created another human being just to have a way to have a tax break, also to be able to separate yourself from the fuck-ups that you make. That human being did it. I created the C Corp. That human being over there did it. I didn't. It's insane, y'all. It's insane. So if we really want a better life for us and our families, we need to start focusing on how each and every one of us, and again, on your own, determining what's good for you and your families, and then coming together in a group of people and decide what is the thing that you believe that you need. Oh, okay. And then I tell you mine, and that person tells you theirs. And then we can have something that either can be local, state, or federal. But if the people don't come together and have some kind of understanding of what they want, the rich people, you best believe they're getting together, figuring out how they can fuck us all over. Donald Trump, bitched and moaned, called the guy of Jeff Bezos. And those two determined whether we, the millions of Americans who buy from Amazon, are going to be told the absolute truth about what's happening when we get a bill, or hidden lies because you want to appease one man. Well, there's millions of us, and we outweigh that man if we can all come together and say, fuck Jeff Bezos if you're going to do that to us. Fuck you. We're going to figure out something else to exclude you from the process. Because if you're not going to work for the people not one damn day in your fucking life, why the hell we working for you? Buying stuff so that you can go buy yachts. We need to figure out a way to do it ourselves and exclude those people and only do it for the people who give a fuck about people. Americans for Americans. Not these assholes who call themselves Americans but don't know what the fuck it means. That's my 2 cents on the matter. That's my 2 cents. I'll go back and see if I saw a young man said that I'm 25 going on 26. I recently registered to vote again. Cool, Nomadic Mariner. Like I said, one of the things I would say to you, brother, is just think about what it is that you want. Oftentimes we kind of like group think about what we're going to vote for and all this thing like that. Like, oh, my friend said this. Anytime I group like me and you and people in this room, I'm saying it's like we will see what our mom or dad is doing and just look over. What y'all voting on that? Okay. You know what I'm saying? So instead of that, think about the things that you want for you and your family. A lot of people, my son is about your age, and they're thinking about careers, jobs to have, being able to buy a house like their parents did, like I did when my kids were little, being able to just have a nice life. And I mean, there's many opportunities that I didn't have that are going on now with the gig economy, being on YouTube, content creation, if that's what you want. But there are many things that are gone, like factories. If you like woodworking and things of that nature, a lot of these things have been shipped over. So being able to figure that out and think about even if you want factories to come back to some degree, what kind of factories would you want? If you want a certain career, what type of things will give you opportunities that you may have thought? And also think about those people who come behind you. What did you learn in school or what did you learn since you got out of school that you wish you had learned in school? And if those things aren't present in the school, then you need to try and work on trying to get them put into the school, because when you have kids, if you don't already have them, you want them to have a better opportunity in growing up than you did. If there was something that was missed out, like for me, when I came out of college, I got into the entertainment business, but my college did not teach me to have a reel, right? REEL, a reel of all the things I could do. I could edit, I could write, I could produce, I could do lighting, I could direct, I could do all this shit, right? I knew all that. I had TV shows on like I did in college for like PBS and other places, and independent shows, and TD, audio, everything. And I taught other people how to do it. But I didn't have any video showing people, look this, what he did. He edits, he does this, he does everything from top to bottom. He can edit the show, produce the show, write the show, all that. Coming out and just telling people that, when I came out in 93, 94, they're like, show me. And I'm like, where's the equipment? I can show you what I can do right now. What's a better way than to do it with my own hands? You know what I'm saying? But they were like, no. You got a reel? I'm like, reel? What are you talking about? Reel what? And then I realized, I'm like, oh, man, these people want to see me do it on some camera or something. I'm like, dude, that shit was in college. They didn't teach us that. So when I went back to college and I do speeches and things, I spoke to about 6 classes. Each one of them for like an hour, maybe. I was there for like 8, 9 hour day or something like that. And that's the thing I taught them. If they're going to be in entertainment, you better have a reel when you come out to LA, New York, wherever you go. If you don't have something to prove what you can do, a website or something, it's going to be a battle for you. But if you do have it, it's going to be easier. Nothing's easy, it'll be easier. Because then they see what you can do. Be like, oh, you edited this? Like, yeah, now you got something other than say, I can't edit something, right? And I was mean with it. I was good at it, but I had no reel. So those types of things you got to go back and look at and say, okay, I got to add these things uh, into my life, and I got to vote for them. I got to know if there's programs out there, because again, there are many governmental programs out there to help people. Most people know nothing about them. Then there's other things that are grants. Even if you start like a 501c3, there are ways to get grants from the government, at least at were. I don't know about under Trump. And you can, if you really have a passion for helping or whatever, there's so many ways to move that most people don't know, right? And even in that, you know, you can be able to help people. So I don't know what your thing is. I'm just giving you some solutions and some ideas. But yeah. This will be a job by next week. Sir Pup Jones. People don't start caring until something happens to them. Many don't. I've been caring since I was a baby. I mean, I that's just how it was for me. And I've always cared about other people. Um, and a lot of my friends thought I was weird because I did. And I was like, I thought I was normal. But I wasn't. I wasn't normal. Okay, so what? I was abnormal because I knew many of people was like, dude, all I care about is me and mine. I don't give a shit about nobody else. And I was like, but you're connected though. I mean, you can't just separate yourself from the world because you're connected. Because you and yours may depend on me and mine. You feel me? I mean, like we need each other. No matter how much you think you don't need somebody, I would tell everybody in this room, tell anybody you know or love, calculate where you are in life right now. Now take some steps back and figure out how you got here. See, a lot of people say they got here themselves. That's because you're stuck in that me world. Because you had to fight and you had to do this and you had to do that. But guess what somebody else had to do? Somebody had to say yes to you. Somebody had to look at you and give you an opportunity, right? I don't care if that was a person. If you started your own business and nobody's ever given you a job, you had to work for it. Some client opened up and said, I'll take you as a client. And that's how you got that first deal. Some people will be like, oh, I did it. No, no, no. You did not just do it. That's a we thing. That wasn't a me thing. When you start to take credit for things where people could have said yes or no to you and not give the credit sometimes to the people who did it, who said yes, then you think you're in this world alone and you're not. It's a we thing. So a lot of people will act like nobody cares, but I'm like, how did you get where you are? How much you making a year? 100,000. Did you just wake up one day and it was given to you? You worked for it, right? But somebody had to open that door and tell you that job was open. And even if you went and checked it online, somebody or somewhere, whatever it may be, offered that service so that you could know that job was available. It's not just taking credit away from yourself. It's allowing yourself to see that you're not alone. The things that get you to places, you're connected. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. It took a community to get where I'm at. That's that, boy, come on now, Sir Pup. That's what it's all about. It takes a village, baby. It takes a village. And oftentimes, I've done it when I was younger. Oftentimes, I didn't see the village because I was so caught up in just being a villager. I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And then when I get it, thank God I got it, thank God I got it. Instead of, you know, that person helped me, thank you. That person got me here, thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here, thank you. Because I had to get out of that me and get into that we and realize it's a we thing. Life is a we thing. We don't get from birth to death by ourselves. And when we get caught up in that we by ourselves thing, it can It could be a lot of mental issues that add on to that, a lot of stresses because you just think you got to do it all by yourself. And sometimes you are alone, at night and nobody else there and things of that nature. But you may have friends when you wake up that you can call. You may have, if you don't have your parents around, you may have a brother or sister. If not that, what I'm saying, you open yourself up to other people and allow yourself to be a vessel for them. I always look at it this way. Whenever there's something else going on in my life, and no matter what it is, if it's good or bad, I always think about how can I share that to help somebody else's life better, become better. And I don't just randomly, I don't pick anybody. It's usually, I believe my higher power brings that person to me when I need it. When I need to give somebody something, almost always somebody comes into my life and I just give it to them and I pour it into them. And as I'm pouring it into them, I'm being poured into as well. Because their reception of it is everything I needed. And it changing their lives sometimes right before my eyes is everything I needed to energize me as well. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing when you're doing good for people, how much it helps you too. And I mean, you may not benefit from it like financially or anything like that, but it might bring a smile on your face, joy in your heart. And those things you need to regenerate yourself, recuperate from all the craziness that goes on a day-to-day basis. So if you ever feel down and no energy, I promise you, go love on somebody. I ain't talking about go out and have, coitus. Go love on somebody. Go out there and just be like, yo, how you doing today? Oh, I'm good. Ah, okay, cool. Everything good with you? You hungry? Say, oh, yeah, I'm hungry, but I'm good. Nah, I got you. Do things for people. If you've been blessed to have, help the have-nots. And therefore, you'll start to feel better about not only your life, but you might just meet somebody who's going to change your life. Oftentimes we think because we got something and we hear that people down here can't transform us. And I'm here to say the ones who transform you the most are the ones who are down here. Because those people tell you a life of wisdom that you may not have experienced. And by learning their wisdom of when they fell and how far they've come back, it allows you to jump over that hurdle without having to go through it. They're mending holes that are set before you. They're filling them with their wisdom so that you don't fall in. You just got to be able to take it in and not be judgmental. That they may be homeless. They may be, I'll give you a story. And it was a guy that my friend had told me about. He's probably long gone now, but I remember it was on Sunset and Vine. I want to believe it was a Wells Fargo or something sitting there, and there was a bench. I don't know if it's still there. It was a bench that was right outside the bank. I want to say it was Wells Fargo. It might have been a community bank, whatever. But it was on that street. And there was a homeless dude that was always sitting there. And, you drive by, you hear him scream some crazy stuff every once in a while. And my friend told me he had sat down and talked with him. I said, oh. He said, yeah, he was cool and all stuff like that. And he said, yeah, his name is Crocodile. That's what he went by, Crocodile. And I said, all right, cool. So one day I work in the studio that's nearby, that's a CBS studio. And I would walk to the Coffee Bean right down the street. I don't think it's still there anymore, but walk to the Coffee Bean. It's right down the street on Sunset. And he was sitting there and on the bench, and he was sitting there and he said, hey, fella. And I was like, looked over and he didn't know I knew him, because I had seen him driving by. By driving by, I seen him. And so I just called about that. I said, hey, what's up, Crocodile? He said, you know me? I was like, no, my boy sat down next to you, talked to you, told me about it. And he's like, you got a minute? I'm like, yeah. So, we talked and chatted for a minute, and just pure wisdom poured out of this man. I mean, I'm sitting here like, wow. But he had moments of like clarity and wisdom, and he would give you like love, happiness, and joy, and wouldn't ask you for nothing, just time. And that's a lot. But you never really think time is much when you're working, hustling, bustling, you got to go back to work for lunch. Your time is like spent, and his was just free. And he was sitting there just giving all this wisdom about life in general. And you have a nice day, young fella. I'm like, all right, man, take it easy, right? It was some of the most like, it was crazy. And you just sit there and look at it like, there's so much wisdom in people that sometimes we count them out when we should be counting them in. And I learned a lesson that day, and I try my best, to stop and smell the roses. And sometimes that time of smelling the roses is stopping and listening to, or being a conduit of your higher being, and giving somebody a piece of your time. And in that situation, I felt like I was going to give him a piece of my time, but in all honesty, I stole some of his, because out of that conversation, he gave me more than I could ever give him. And so sometimes we think we're going to be the conduit to improve or impress somebody's life, be an impression on somebody's life. And I don't know what I did to him before him. He was just nice, but I know what he gave me, and that was wisdom. And again, filling some of these potholes that I didn't have to fall into because I listened to a wise man tell me about things that I didn't learn when I was growing up, just learned it from him. So you never know when somebody's going to bless your life with something that's going to help you. And oftentimes it happens when you stop, smell the roses, and offer up something that's blessed from you to somebody else, just because you feel it. Not just because you're like, I got to do it. No, when you feel it, do it. If you don't feel it, it's going to be awkward. But when you have that feeling in your spirit, like, you know what? I am going too fast. Let me stop. Talk to my man real quick. You hungry? You know what I'm saying? And you just never know how you will be blessed in that conversation. Sometimes the blessing may be just to listen to what he has to say and take it easy. Sometimes you get some nuggets that you be like, whoa, had no idea my man was this bright. So anyway, I went on a tangent, but I love to share stuff to help people. But that is a moment, and I've got many of those moments where I stopped and smelled the roses, and the roses was a human being, not an actual flower. But I still got knowledge and wisdom from that rose. So I hope that happens. Hope that works. Mr. Window advice is the best, right? Time is invaluable. It really is. I have done that as well. I didn't have any money. I used my card. I gave him my leftovers, which was a lot of food. It was a big fish fry. It was freezing out too. He took them. Nice, Rude. Yeah. A lot of times, again, it's in your heart what you feel. I don't allow anybody to tell me what I can and can't do. I had people in my life I no longer have who have negative perspectives of people who they consider to be less than them. And I never believe anybody's less than me. I know that there are people who are down and may not have what I have financially or whatever, but they may be wealthy in other aspects of life. And when we get caught up in material and act like, the rest of us doesn't matter, we get caught up sometimes in the wrong situations. And you'll find that because and you get caught in certain situations like that where, people are trying to bless you, but because you have a preconceived notion, a stereotype about people, and you miss out on blessings and opportunities and wisdoms that can take you from here to here in life, but you just choose not to. I always feel like it's a calling whenever somebody is in my surroundings and I'm drawn to speak to them. And I lie not. There has never been a time wasted for me personally when I have that calling, that feel like I need to speak to him or her, or somebody does that to me, vice versa. It's always a beautiful moment. Always. It's never been like a horrible situation. And I'm not saying that it can't be, but for me, it has never been. So I talk to everyone, Nina. Yes, most definitely. I always say, I'll say hi to people. Like if I'm in a rush, I'll still be like, hey, what's up, man? Or what's up, young man? it's in reverse. One of the things I'm gonna leave you with this one. This isn't like a really big thing, but it's just like when I first moved. I'm from Indiana. I first moved to LA. It was a situation where I grew up in Indiana, and we always brothers, and sisters. Whenever we walk by each other, if it was I walk by a woman, I'd be, "How you doing, ma'am?" Whatever, and or "What's up, sis?" And if she's younger, about my age, and then I give the head nod for my brothers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I moved to LA. I was 23, so it's like 1994, 22, 23 around there. Leave you with this one. It was funny. So I'm, in Hollywood, dreams of grandeur. I'm like, man, I'd have made it. I wanted to be in film and television. I was working for a TV show on Paramount lot. So I'm walking down the street, and I see some brothers coming my way. Two young brothers about my age, you know what I'm saying, coming on my way. And as I'm walking by them, I give them the head nod. Right? I look at them, give them the head nod, keep moving. My mayor's like, "Do I know you?" I was like, "No, I don't think so." It's like, "So what you nodding for?" I'm like, "I just said what's up." Well, they don't do that here in Cali. He said, "What do you mean you don't do that? You from where you from?" I'm like, "Indiana, man. What are you asking all these damn questions for? You don't know what the nod means?" And we had this like debate. I'm sitting there like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, and I was working at the Paramount lot, and I had one of the guys who used to maintenance, not necessarily maintenance, what do you even call it, the detail. It's a detail. I worked for Arsenio, let's get put that way, Arsenio Hall at the time, the first show, and his detail guy, whom I'm still cool with, he was cleaning one of Arsenio's cars, and he's from LA. And I said to him, I said, "Man, I'm in the parking lot chilling." I said, "Man, I was just down the street, like, I told him earlier before I came to work, or I was on lunch rather. I said, I came back and I said, "Man, what?" I said, "What's up with LA, man?" He's like, "What's he talking about?" I was like, "Man, I just went by and just said what's up to it, do it through my head up." He's like, "Nah, don't do that." I'm like, and I guess there's some kind of gang thing. And he said, "Did he ask you what set you from?" I'm like, "Set? What the fuck you talking about?" I didn't know nothing about gangs and nothing in LA. Like, nah, he said nothing about no set. But it was one of those moments where you realize, not everybody was raised the same way. Not everybody knows exactly the same things. It's like, and you can have bad experiences on things that are supposed to be good. Those things happen. But what I realized is, like, that was in 93. I didn't change myself. I wouldn't allow myself to be changed. I still said what's up to everybody when I went by. And, they looked at me kind of strange still. And I said, I'm not going to change. If anybody comes my way, they're going to have to change. If that's not their spirit, it's going to have to be around me, because I'm not going to change that. That's a part of me where I give respect to my brothers and sisters who walk past me. It is a part of my history to tell my brothers and sisters many different things, whether it be watch out around the corner because there's a racist dude around the corner, protect yourself, or look at you in a certain way to protect you from things. And nod in the head was to tell you, I love you, I know what you've been through, and you got a friend in me. So those types of things, while I was raised that it was for, I wasn't going to change that. So many years later, this is like, I'm 54 now. So I was probably like 47 years old. I'm walking down the street. I see a couple, a black dude and a black girl, young, sitting on the side of the curb, right? And I'm walking by, and I give the head nod, and this young man said, "What's up, King?" And I was like, that right there was like ultimate respect. And of course I was older than him. I could be his dad. And I'm like, "I'm good, King." And that to me was just like a huge shift from when I first moved out here. Not one person I was walking around would be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And not all of them were like offensive, like that one dude was offended. They just wouldn't do anything. They just look at me like I'm crazy or keep their head down or whatever. But when that kid did that, I was like, world's changing. It's better. It's better. It's getting better. In LA, it's getting better. At least that's what I felt for that day. All right. So I'm about to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a chance. Like I said, I'm still working on our member thing to figure out how I'm going to do that, to connect with y'all. I want to see some of y'all, so I want to put up some things where we can actually talk to one another, ask questions amongst each other. Don't always have to be a question with me. It could be a question amongst the members as well to each other. So I want to try and figure that out. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm not sure if it's like a thing we hook up with Zoom or YouTube has something different. TikTok's a whole different world. That's where I'm coming from. And so it's easier on TikTok just to bring somebody up on a box. I don't know how to do that on YouTube yet. So I'm working on it. But I will let you know. But no worries. We'll be doing it again tomorrow. But I want to say, good night to everybody. Much love to everybody. Stay positive in the midst of all this mess. It's tough. It's not easy. I understand that 100%. I'm normally a positive dude. That's the norm for me. But like I said, I can't stand being lied to. Everybody, we all have different modes. I get into the festivity mode if you lie to me. There's no reason to lie to me. You can tell me the truth even if it hurts. Because again, I'd rather be in pain than lied to. Because I can get over the pain. Pain is all about growth. Yeah, you told me something about myself that you said, oh, that was this or that. Depending on what I felt about that, if it hurt me, then it just hurt me. So what? I'm going to grow from it. And if it is true, and maybe it's something I need to change, then I know. I don't need to be lied to. That's the thing. Even the people who love me and just don't want to hurt my feelings, everybody who knows me, my kids, I tell my kids, say what you got to say. Don't sugarcoat that shit at all. Say what you really feel. Because if I don't know how you really feel, I don't know whether I'm, a plus to you or a minus to you. Whether I'm a burden or if I'm a blessing. I don't know that if you're not telling me the truth, right? So those are the things that you'll see me get hyper and angry about, because it seems angry, but I'm passionate about it. I'm not really angry. Angry is a whole different other ball game, but you'll see me get passionate about it and speak with my full chest on things that when I get lied to, when I see other people get lied on or lied to. In my life, I've always been a protector of friends and family and coworkers for that matter. I never really cared so much about, I don't care about the job as much. I just care about right and wrong. And if I see something wrong, I jump on it. I don't care if somebody's going to fire me after I get finished saying it. I just can't live my life catering to somebody just because their feelings might get hurt. It's like, no, I'm going to tell you the straight truth. But what comes with that also is if there's something brilliant about you, there's something loving and caring about you, I'll let you know that too. And trust me, it's more times that I'm going to say to you loving and caring things when I'm speaking to you one-on-one than the opposite. That's why I always tell people in life, you got a choice. You can choose to, be a friend or a foe. That's on you. Because for me, you're going to always be a friend until you show me that you're not worthy of a friendship. As simple as that. And I think that's pretty much with everybody, but I don't take everybody for granted. I let people speak for themselves. I don't speak for everybody. I speak for myself. So you guys have a good night. Much love to you. We'll be back here tomorrow around 5:15-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until then, much love. Stay positive. Stay brilliant, because you are individually brilliant. You don't compete with nobody. You have your own brilliance. And that's what I love about people, is that if you search the heart and minds of each and every one of you, and people, even your friends, there's either a scared person because they don't know what they're brilliant in, or there's a brilliant person who knows what they're brilliant at and willing to share and love other people just as much. And those are the things that I seek. And I really believe in the fact of what you put out, you receive. Because in every one of my rooms, when I put out love, I receive it. I receive it. And it's not a situation in which I ask for it. It's like I demand respect the way I give it. If I disrespect you, I get you. You disrespect me back, I get you. I ain't got no problem with that. Like I said, but I give, I receive, and I'm not mad about it. All right? You guys have a good night. Be safe. Much love to you. The Discord server is not up for this right now. I'm trying to work on that. I know that we have a person that's working on it for me, but I don't know what. Again, I got to talk to Five Alarm Fire because I got to figure out what his chat room, what his Discord is about. Like, I don't know the whole detail, but we're gonna connect. He sent me an email. If it doesn't have the same thing that I'm doing, then I'll create my own. But I'll still be a part of his too if I understand what they're doing, because it seems like it's a good thing. All right, but I'll let you know. Just keep coming back, and as we grow, you'll know more. All right, much love to y'all. Take it easy. I see you when I see you.